So this one, because it's got so much dark space around the image, I'm going to have a little play with some texture. Face transferred beautifully. So this is a texture plate. That's what it's called. Can't remember where I got it from because I've had it for so long. And I'm just going to push that texture into the wet paint. Oh, I like that. That looks great. No, I smudged it with my fingers, but besides that, I think that's come up good. What colour shall I put on her for her background? Oh, I might try some metallic copper. Funny how I always choose these images with such attitude. Let's go with a bit of metallic copper and see how she looks. Maybe a tiny bit more warmth. Right, let's see how she came out. The colour's pretty nice. I hope she printed well. Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Look, she looks like an Egyptian goddess with a neck piece. I like that colour. That was the iridescent copper. And then because I wanted to make it a bit warmer, I put a bit of the alizarin crimson. That looks pretty nice. I like that colour. I like her attitude. It's got a few crinkled marks, but that is what you get with an image transfer. It's never going to be perfect. And that's what makes it a beautiful monoprint. You can't repeat it. You can't get it the same ever again. And that's the beauty of this particular artwork. Okay, so I adhered the beautiful image transfer onto this canvas, and then I painted the copper around the edge and around the sides. I then sealed it with an acrylic gloss medium just to protect the paper as I now layer some more paints on top of it. It just helps to prevent the paper from getting all crinkly and bubbling with the fluid and the water absorbency. Why am I doing this? Well, why not? I mean, yes, I could leave her like this. She does look like a beautiful copper goddess with the chest plate here. But that's not how I roll. I always want to try something new. I always want to try something different. I want to push the envelope. It's quite a small canvas, so if it doesn't work out, it's no drama really, but I'm going to try adding some layers of the acrylic paint. Now I'm going to use, they're in a jar because I'm going to use paints and inks mixed with a little bit of the Liquitex pouring medium. Now that is the secret sauce. Don't tell anyone, but that's the secret sauce of what makes this whole process absolutely amazing, because it causes the paints and inks to blend together. The acrylic medium causes the paints to move and to blend, and it creates that beautiful flow. So I've got a few colors. I've got some bronze here. This would be a Liquitex ink bronze. beautiful. I've got a cad red here, which may or not be a great idea. And I've also got iridescent copper, which I'm loving. This one in here is that is just the clear medium that I'm using to mix the paints together. And we'll see if this idea is going to be a good one or not. So I'm going to start by just adding some of the clear fluid medium across her face, because I'm going to try really hard not to wreck her. So as you can see, I'm just brushing some on in some different areas. I put some little wood pieces under the canvas because I want it to drip over the edge, and I don't want it to pull right under the canvas there because it just makes it thick and chunky and painful, and you've got to cut it off later. Then you just got to move it around and hope it moves in the direction that you want it to go. It's you're quite unsure exactly how it's going to go while you're in this process, because it looks really different when you're painting it like this to when it dries. It also dries really differently. So it can be a little scary at this stage as to how it's going. I'm just mixing a little of the colors together. You really won't see any of this properly until it dries, but at least you can see the crazy process that I go to make this particular application. Then you've got to leave it to dry, which is the hardest bit because you want to keep fiddling with it. Just decided to drop in some yellow gold just to give it a bit of brightness. Righto, so I'll leave that to dry and hopefully it will be amazing. Okay, so here she is. The paint has dried. Here is the making of a goddess. As you can see, yes, I did lose some of the background imagery. I did like the breastplate she had on here from the image transfer. Kind of lost that. You can see a mix of the colors. Right, so I've got an idea. I want to try putting maybe that breastplate back because I did really like it. See a little bit underneath there. I made it with this texture plate when I did the image transfer, and I basically just went like this and pushed it on while the paint was still wet from the transfer process. So I'm going to do that again. What I want to do is just try and put the paint on the top layer of this texture plate to take that image, you know, like making a print. So this is my idea. What you want to do when you try ideas like this is make sure that your artwork is fully and completely dry so that you can easily wipe it off if your first attempt is not successful. Sometimes your first attempt at things like this just shows you how you should have done it. And always have a damp cloth or some baby wipes on hand. I've put the paint on there. I'm just going to press this on here to see if I can take a bit of a print image of that shape that I really initially liked. Actually, that's what made me feel like that she was a goddess in the making. Righto, let's see if it turned out. Yeah, I'm a lot happier with that. I think that's connected a lot more to her. I might just take off this smudgy bit there. See how easy that is to remove? Oh my gosh, wish it was always that easy to fix. Take that smudgy bit off. We might even take that smudgy bit off. Yeah, that's okay. Now my beautiful chest plate on my goddess has dried. thoroughly. I left it for a couple of days. Now, whenever you're doing more layers on your painting, you want to make sure that each layer is completely dried before you touch it with the next layer. Otherwise, it just doesn't go well. It can create bubbles under the surface because it traps water or fluid or air. So just make sure each layer is completely dried. I'm just going to do a final coat on her. I know the poor little thing has had such a beating, but I just want to add some more of the little bit of the bronze and the red, and I'd really like to just integrate this chest piece more into the final layer of the painting. So I'll leave that to dry, and then we'll see how the beautiful final coat looks. Okay, here she is, my beautiful goddess. Finally, the last layer has dried and she looks rather beautiful. I love the look on her face. I love the chest plate here from the texture plate. That worked really well. You just have to be a little brave, experimental, and allow yourself to really try some different applications to see what you like best. I'm pretty happy with my goddess. I think she looks beautiful. I think she'll look nice up on the wall. I'm just going to give the sides an extra touch up because they got a little manky in the process. Put some tape and string on the back, and I think she'll look amazing. You can learn this technique and so much more in the full art class on Skillshare, so find the link in the description, join me in the studio and let's make art.